There we go. We've got this all sorted out. Even had a hotkey for switching scenes on on my streaming program. I'm just going to pop the chat up in nice big text, and we can get going. And here's the most important part of the day. Hello. Oh, he doesn't sound very enthusiastic with that one. Hope he's a little more energetic about all the duties he's got ahead of him coming up in a moment. Hello. Nice to see Iguana that you're here. Even if you were here technically before I even started the stream. But it's all good if you need to go to bed, eh? I think it's probably a good idea to make sure you get some good sleep. What are we doing here? Have I got any trees planted? I think I dug them all up last time, but let's just go look. This is apparently my garden now. Yeah, that looks pretty dug up. There he is. There he is indeed. Sorry, I missed your message. I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and an ad started playing in the stream, confused the heck out of me for a few seconds. Nice. Sorry to have interrupted. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't think I know it. I would have thought that name would be something like Brooklyn 911 or something, but anyway, I suppose they can call it what they want to call it. But I actually thought about the idea that my stream has ads. That's a strange one to me. Oh, and I see my bot still has us talking about emotions. That wasn't the plan for tonight, but really it doesn't matter all too much. I kind of get an idea in my head of, hey, we could have topic X, and then I forget completely all about it when we end up talking about all sorts of other stuff. I was actually just busy uploading a whole lot of videos to YouTube, like previous streams, and finding myself having to give each of them a title and sort of going, right, I decided at the beginning of that night we were going to talk about whatever, and it almost never worked out. Like each of the topics, I'm sort of going, okay, do I call it what I said it was going to be about, or do I call it what we actually ended up talking about? But oh well. I've got all but the very latest one, and then obviously today's ones are uploaded, so it's nice to have that sorted. Ah, thanks, Iguana. That's really cool of you to say. Admittedly, I've had sort of my own mental image of I think we're going to talk about so like emotional. I quite like the topic of emotions, in case you haven't noticed. So I kind of thought we'd bring that up quite a lot more, and then we've always, at the least, kind of gone off with a tangent, if not shot off in the other direction. So I just saw the one I uploaded. Neuro and I ended up having quite a long conversation about people with autism and programs run by the Navy for them, and not at all what I'd been planning to talk about, but it's all good. It worked out. Every channel has ads, but only affiliates or partners get revenue from them. Ah, okay. I'm curious what the revenue is like, but obviously I'm a little bit away from affiliate and partner at the moment. So I think Dr. Mick was asking me the other night how many viewers we'd had on that night, and I was just like 50 million, give or take a little bit. I think you were there actually. But yeah, so it was I had a good chuckle to sort of be like, well, actually, we haven't had too many people yet, but we're getting there, little by little. I'm quite happy to have finally set up the YouTube. I was stuck on it before because for some reason, YouTube, even though I made a brand new account for my YouTube stuff, somehow it had picked out my actual name and put that on as kind of like the title of the channel, which is not what I'd set. I'd set it just as Gecko Psychologist. And I'm not really too worried. It's not the end of the world if people know my real name, but I just figure for consistency's sake, I try to sort of stick to Gecko and Gecko Psychologist and that sort of thing. And for the longest time, like I just kept looking up all these tutorials, and I'd look something up and I would say, okay, go here, do this, click there, do that, and that'll change the name of your stream. And no matter what I did, it still just showed my name. And then today I logged on, and it was obviously just like something on their side because today they'd sorted it all out. Yeah, and the thing is, Google used to have that integration with Google Plus, which of course now they're moving away from. So can I dig? I want to dig this. There we go. There's a particle floating in the air there. But yeah, they used to have the Google Plus integration, and I suspect maybe just because they're moving away from that a little bit, that it's introduced one or two small bugs. But it sorted itself out. So now I am Gecko Psychologist. I've got a little link below the video that says, come look, click here for YouTube, for videos. Oh God, and even one video is this gloriously embarrassing, what I'm just going to refer to in future as my blooper reel, because it turns out I started that stream. Hey, Nura, I was just talking about you. Sneaky timing. So it turns out for more than half the video, I was sitting there chatting away, talking about the game, and so you can see, I focus in on the game at times, and I'm very obviously doing something. And much later on in the video, someone's like, "Oh, by the way, are you playing a game? Because we can't see anything." And it turned out I just had my face the whole time. So like there'd been this little corner in the side of just my face, talking to nothing, and blank black video in the middle of it. And then on top of that, at one point I noticed one of the users that had logged into the thing, and I was having a little conversation with Commander Root. And it turns out Commander Root is just a bot. And yeah, Nero, this is my YouTube blooper reel. I've uploaded it because I thought, I'm not gonna edit out the silly ones. They'll make for a good laugh later on. One day when I've got the setup like super professional and all sort of lowbrow style with all the fancy effects, then I'll be able to look back at that and sort of be like, oh God, look at me there. I don't know if I care about resin at the moment. I really want to find resources I don't have. I want copper. I want copper and lithium and a bunch of other things. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking in the wrong places, but I just haven't found them so far. Actually, that makes me think I haven't been digging around in the mountains much. Maybe that's what I need to be doing. Okay, well, we'll get there. I was thinking, and then the thought process stopped. So, tonight's planned topic, I await the glorious user input that completely sways us from the topic, but it's okay. At least, I guess in my head, it's sort of, at least I did mentally prepare something, even if we don't end up talking about that. So I've just been watching Check Me Out stream for a little while, and she does those, she does like guided meditation sort of things. I don't have a packer for this. Can I put this in my bag at least? Oh, okay. Oh God, that's bright. Okay, hello light. Yeah, so she does those meditations, and I don't always necessarily join in with her meditations. I think I like the atmosphere in her chat, and I like some of the conversation there. And there's nothing stopping me from getting involved in the meditation. I just don't feel like it a lot of the time, I guess. But that said, and maybe it's a little hypocritical of me. Sorry, I missed that, Nero. Command route was back and forth conversation. Well, not so much back and forth, just forth. I was just talking to Commander Root, and Commander Root wasn't saying anything to me because he's just a bot. And later on, I found out later on he was a bot, and I was like, oh, okay. But now going back and looking at the video and realizing, here's me sitting having a fat conversation with Commander Root, who's not listening to a word I'm saying. It's one thing to have a lurker that's not responding to you, that's fine. Hopefully they're listening every now and then to things you're saying, and that's cool. But when it's just a bot, you feel like a bit of a numbskull to have been spending all that time chatting to a robot, or chatting to a robot that doesn't understand you at all. Scan this one, and get rid of these. Oh, and I've just realized I've gone off the oxygen. Can I? Yes, I can. And speak of the devil, my chat thing has just informed me that Commander Root has just joined the chat. So hi there, Commander Root. Nice of you to show up and join the conversation. One day he's going to respond, and I'm going to absolutely lose my shit because he's not supposed to be able to. Oh God, I was too close to that one. Let's scan this. and this. Hey, Sith. How you doing, Sith? I, I've just realized in my head, it's funny what our heads do with people's usernames. Like, Iguana to me was Coder for so long, and now I'm sort of trying to correct that. And whenever I see Sith Panda, I know, like, usually on Dr. Mick's stream, people talk about Panda, whereas in my head, it's like, oh, hey, Sith. Uh, Hi, I'm sneaky, Sith Panda. No, I've got a little chat client up on the screen here, mainly just because it puts the text a little bigger than my stream client does, so I can I can at least read it without having to peer at the text over there. I really should just wear my glasses for this, but anyway. Oh, oxygen, oxygen. Um, Sith Panda, I was too busy talking to you, and I nearly suffocated. Good, good starting point to talk about breathing from. um, yeah, it shows me, it gives me a little pop up that it just sort of grayed out text and it just says join and it gives me the names of the people that have joined. Although the bots sometimes sort of come and go, and so I'll have these moments of like, oh, another you. Oh, it's the same bot again. Okay. I really have a. I'm sure there's a good use for these bots. You know, I'm sure somebody is doing wonderful stuff, but until I figure out what it is, they're not. They're not my favorite things in all the world for the moment. Come here. There we go. And this is more zinc, which I don't really care about. Zinc and quartz, and zinc, and more quartz, and I really don't want that stuff right now. Okay, let's see. We came from that side. I see a bunch of resin there. I don't really want that, but there's stuff down there, so let's go. Nope. Where? Is there a hole? Nope, there's not a hole. Okay, let's connect the oxygen. See, this is totally, I'm totally sticking onto my breathing theme by talking about suffocating and oxygen, and I'm totally doing it. This is mental health chat at its finest. Let's get rid of these. I love the sound effects those plants make when you explode them. I was sad that Dr. Mick hurt his throat. Yeah, I think it really. Oh, sorry, I didn't see all the chat. But yeah, no, it really does suck if you're wanting to stream and then something like that gets in the way. I know. Thankfully for me, I've only once had, like, during my private practice days, only once had that my throat was actually like really sore, and it was such a pain in the neck having to see clients and sort of going, right, okay, I'm gonna do a whole lot less talking today, and they're going to have to fill in the gaps. But kind of, I can do that as a therapist, you know, in a therapy setting. That's a reasonable thing to do. But I think as a streamer, it's a little harder to do. No, I didn't see. One of my friends has an autistic daughter who generally doesn't talk around people she isn't familiar with, leads to some funny conversations. Generally doesn't. And yeah, I think that's quite a common thing that, you know, they can find social situations quite awkward. I think for a lot of psychologists that are just kind of getting going with things, they might quite often think of autism as like a or they might sort of misidentify it as some sort of a social anxiety thing, which I guess there is often anxiety about it, but also often not. You know, sometimes it's just they just don't want to talk to people that much. Why am I digging this up? I don't want this. Okay, we'll grab one little blup of that. And then we'll research these. Okay, I'm going to remember to sit up straight. And there goes the breathing again. Yeah. All right, let's see. I just realized we can't actually hear the game. Oh, really? Did I? Should be able to. So audio is even on. I know I did turn its audio down a lot. Okay, let me turn it up a chunk. Does that make it any better? I'll go quiet while you listen. Oh, and I minimized my chat client when I did that. Let me know if you hear the game now. I just reset the volume from that, so hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Nope, come back. Okay, yeah, I'm going this way. Oh, sneaky. Goodness, I swear these plants are out to get me by now. Oh, and hello. We'll just stick it here for now, and we'll come back for it on the way back. But then there's 2 research items, and I don't have things to pack them with. Oh dear. But anyway, so I was thinking, if you guys are up for the challenge, we could talk a little bit about these 2 topics, meditation and breathing, purely in my mind, because I was really enjoying Check Me Out stream when she was talking about it, but I know like she doesn't. Well, she talks about them as important things, but she doesn't always necessarily highlight like the my backpack's full. What can I call it? Wait, let me plop another tether and then I can pick that up. Like the mental health significance of it. She kind of talks about it as it's a good thing to do. And I thought it might be useful to be a little more specific about it, about how we do it and when it's useful to do and that sort of side of things. Oh, the video portion of is freezing for me now, so it's hard to tell. Might just be a bad internet night for one of us. Iguana, I hope it's a bad internet night. This is terrible, but I hope it's a bad internet night on your side, because if it's my side, I've got to go figure that out. But my internet has been relatively good tonight. Although I got to say, I'm all semi-excited because there's a possibility, I don't know yet, but there's a possibility I'm going to be getting a major upgrade on my internet when I move in the next couple of weeks. I'm just busy looking at the deals available, but I've seen some good possibilities. I just need to do a bit more research on them. But anyway, back to breathing. Let's remember to breathe. There we go. Now, see now, I wonder what you guys think, or if you know anything about this. So now somebody named Tade has joined, and Tade, I'm not sure. I haven't checked Tade out to find out if Tade is a bot or if Tade is a user or what's going on there. And as always, Tade, if you are a user, I really don't mean to insult you. I just have never seen you say anything, so I don't know. But Tade may also well be a bot, and then I'm just speaking to nothingness again. So I feel like I need to stalk a lot of my users just to make sure that I'm not making a fool of myself. Don't worry, guys. I haven't stalked you all too much. I've seen you chat before, so you were let off the hook. Okay, I came from over that way, but did I go left or right there? I'm going to say we go this way. Yeah, let's go this way. But I'm going to drop this one here, and I'm going to take the cool shiny one with me, because I've had plenty of those green ones, but I've never had one of these funky mushroom ones. Oh no, Sith Panda, you're getting freezing too. That means it's my side. Okay, it might be worth it for me to pause what I'm doing in the game for just a second and see if I can figure anything out that might be interfering with this. I did close. Yeah, I was uploading YouTube videos, but I did close that very specifically. Let me just see. I don't see anything really obvious that would be running in the background. Let me just double check. No. I don't know. I don't see anything really obvious on my side. Sorry, there's me trying to deal with having too many things open. I was thinking of loading slideshows on the stream and just use the mic for my streaming. Hey, Nero, why not? Like, whatever works for you. I think I put my face on because it's kind of the norm, but like, it's not something by any means that anybody has to do. It's just for like a lot of people, I guess, find that more comfortable. I noticed when Dr. Mick had his camera die, and he was actually like quite weirded out by the idea of just being a voice. Whereas to me, I'm kind of like, I'd be quite chill just being a voice. Like when I've been on like radio interviews and stuff, it's quite comfortable to just be a voice on the other side of the radio and not really have a face attached to it. But yeah, I mean, whatever works for you. Oh, no, come back. The video is completely frozen, but the audio. Well, hey, okay, so you're listening to Gecko Radio currently. Okay, well, thank you for the tip, Coder. I do actually know that, but let's go have a look and see anyways. Usually it's fairly easy to sort of spot something and go, this app is chowing all my bandwidth. Usually it's Google Backup is what it is, but Task Manager is taking its sweet time to open up. Well, according to this thing, there's very little actually using up my network. Ooh, I lie. Ooh, okay, Google Chrome. I don't know what you're doing, but we're closing you. I have no idea why it's using so much internet, but there we go. That might just be problem solved. So, Coder, I take it back. That was fantastic advice. Thank you very much. I don't actually. Was that a whisper? That might have been a whisper because the text is in a different color. Hi, Ooze Brood. I'm just curious. I'm wondering, is the brood the English word brood, or are you referring to bread? Just because, well, I'm very used to in South Africa the word for bread in Afrikaans is brood, which is spelled B-R-O-O-D. So it would be quite a weird idea if you were Ooze Bread. That'd be an interesting name. Oh, I've killed my chat. Come back. Ooh, and apparently I was typing www in my chat. Oh dear, I see Nightbot has smacked you. Brood like broodling. Okay, well, just so you know, in that case, brood. Yeah, your that part of your name also means bread in like Dutch sort of languages. So you're welcome if that means anything to you. Let me get out of a hole. Ooze, do you prefer the shortened version of ooze or brood? I feel like brood is a slightly nicer sounding one, but up to you. I don't mind either one. Anyway, hi. From what I understand, I don't think I've seen your name online before, which means maybe we don't know each other. I'm a psychologist. I'm hoping to use the stream to get mental health conversations going, share what I know about mental health related things and sort of things that people can do to improve on their mental health specifically. Just kind of take the sort of knowledge that psychologists are generally expected to know and try to make it as open source as possible, I suppose. But yeah, that's more or less that. And tonight I'm failing miserably at sticking to my assigned topic for the night. As the rest of the guys in here will be able to tell you. And I've just been troubleshooting. Oh, by the way, people call you both. Okay, cool. Coder, I'm glad the video is perfect. I think it was literally just for whatever reason, Chrome was chowing a bit of my upload, and now that I've closed that, it's fine again. Sadly, it's kind of weird to me. When I was in South Africa, I had a fiber internet connection, and it was quite slow, but it was 20 megs up and download. Whereas here, my download speed is so much better, but my upload speed is pretty rubbish. So kind of disappointed in the whole first world Canada not giving me the amazing internet that I hoped it would. Ramp. There we go. I think I'm busy taking a very long way out of this tunnel, but oh well. We're gonna. Oh no, I'm close to the top. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're just gonna. This game is not liking me carrying this mushroom in front of me. So okay, let's go see. I love Astroneer. I have a few questions to throw your way. Please feel free to shoot your questions my way. If they're about Astroneer, I might not have the best answers for you, but if they're about mental health related things, I'm on less shaky ground. I do love Astroneer, but I haven't been playing it out of alpha for a long time. So there's a lot of stuff here that I'm still figuring out, but I'm guessing that's not what you meant. Okay, let me get up this ramp again. Goodness. Can't they just give me like a little teleporting thing that I just stand in my base and say, right, I want to go to that bottom of the cave, and it just pops me down? That'd be really nice. Watch, this thing's going to get me like 10 research and take half an hour to do it. Just because I took all this effort to bring it out. At least that's what I expect anyway. Okay, let's drop that and run. And pick it up. And drop it and run. I feel like they're trying to train me for the sports that I was never good at. Like, we don't care that you're playing a video game. Pick up the ball. Now throw it. Now drop it. Now catch it. Now... Oh, no. Come back. Come back. Go in. No. Oh, God. One slow step at a time. We'll stick it in there. And we'll put that one back on. And we're going to have no power to do this, but that's okay. 540 bytes, 10 minutes. That's not terrible. Okay. We accept. North America is really lousy internet. They throttle upload to provide higher download to more customers. I hear in Europe they're required to run X lines per Y population, so they don't have that problem. I mean, Iguana, that makes sense to me. You notice I almost said coder. That makes sense to me to know you have X amount of hardware per Y amount of users. I mean, that's kind of how you would get good service. I know in the US you guys have all those issues with like internet monopolies of Comcast and Verizon and whatnot. And I did, well, no, I was about to say I hoped Canada was better, but I know Canada's got their, what's it, TELUS and Bell and all the usual bunch here. My cat is going to town on the scratching post. Sorry, he caught my attention there. Let's plant these quickly, and then I'll look at chat in just a moment. We're going to have a good little field of plants here. And one more. Okay, and what's this? This is a light. I think let's put it on this side. Does it light up if I put it there? No. Is this platform plugged in? Also no. Okay, if we plug that platform in, hey, we have light. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I'm happy to have found light. Okay, chat, let's see. Brood, the video's choppy, oh dear. I thought I'd fixed that. Oh dear, everybody's saying it's choppy. And hello, Pudding Puppy, nice to see you here. Let me go take a quick look at my network stuff again, see if something else is chowing up my internet. I hope not, but let's go see. No, Discord's using a tiny amount. Astroneer's using a tiny amount. And should be just the streaming. No, I don't know. I had a magical button before, but... Yes, Panda, I'm in Canada. I've been here since December. Iguana, I'm not sure about the hardware situation in South Africa, but I know at the least the fiber situation in South Africa, like there's a lot of competition for it at the moment because most of it is supplied by various relatively small private ISPs. So there's good competition in that. For the longest time, there was only one state-run telecom provider, and so the ADSL was abysmal. But then when things started switching to fiber, the internet situation really picked up quite a lot. No, why is it choppy? It mustn't be choppy. Tell it to stop being choppy. I'm racking my brains for any other magical solutions there could be, but I really don't think there are. All right, let's kill what we can. We'll try to kill Skype, just because it shouldn't be there. And we can kill Discord, if I can find it. Oh goodness. Too many things to find. Quit Discord. Okay. Discord is gone. And yeah, there's really nothing else using up a lot. So beyond this, if it's still not good, then that'll be an issue. Alright, ooze, let's see. I keep switching you between ooze and brood, so you're just going to have to answer to both names at this point. The mental health topic, I've struggled with dependence with substance abuse, but all to alleviate, chat just moved, all to alleviate constant negative feelings that become overwhelming at times and make functioning normally pretty difficult. It also affects people close to me. It ends up pushing people close to me away and oftentimes do irreversible damage. What would you recommend to focus on in order to figure out why this is happening and prevention going forwards? If you want to just give me 1 second, Brood, I just want to read something else here as well. Okay, Guana, I see what you're suggesting. I don't know if I can do it. Brood, if you want to just give me 2 seconds, I'm going to get to your question in just a moment. I just want to see if I can fix this video issue. We're going to see if we can lower the bitrate in the middle of all this. Let's see if it allows me to. No, I think it's all grayed out. Output. No, it looks like it's graying out all those options to me. So let's see. Maybe it is just my cable. Maybe it'll sort itself out just now. If not, who knows? I may restart the stream or something of that sort. All right, so Brood. Maybe first of all, just to mention the idea that, as much as I am a psychologist, I cannot be your psychologist. So I can talk about the stuff that you're talking about in general senses, but obviously, like, if you wanted like really particular advice and guidance in your own particular situation, I'd say it would probably be in your best interest to have your own therapist who was actually your therapist. But that said, I can talk about, oh goodness, I'm about to kill myself. I can talk about what you're saying in very general senses, because there's a lot of very generic stuff there that there's sort of, it rings certain bells in my mind. So you say, you've struggled with substance abuse and you're trying to alleviate constant negative feelings. And immediately there's a connection between those two, most likely, to say, well, the likelihood is the substance abuse is something that you use as a way of coping with emotions. And as much as it can kind of work in a way, you're obviously realizing that there's downsides to that as well. In the short term, it's useful in that it helps you to deal with those emotions in the short term, but in the long term, its costs are kind of outweighing the benefits. So my suggestion is that you need to start thinking about what could be other methods you could use to deal with those emotions that aren't as destructive as something like substance use. So, a lot of people, when they talk about substance use, they like to jump straight to this idea of, well, don't use substances, as if it's the world's most glorious wisdom. But really, the important thing we usually need to do with substance abuse first is to identify the function that it serves. Because in just about everybody that has substance abuse issues, the substance abuse is serving a particular function for them. Oh, my base doesn't have enough power. And so once we figure out what that function is, then we start to figure out, okay, are there other things that I can do, either thought processes I can use or behaviors I can engage in that I can use to help me to manage those emotions in a more productive way? Let me get back to that message of yours and I can just check what else you said. Oh, mad scrolling going on here. Also affects people close to me. I end up pushing people close to me away and oftentimes do irreversible damage. So honestly, what I'd probably want to start with is do a quick Google on something like emotional coping mechanisms and just look at a list of them. Get yourself a list of like 10 different things where they might say, okay, here are things you can do. You can practice breathing techniques. You can go for a walk from time to time. You can chat to a friend. You can, whatever they list as possible coping mechanisms, and start to try them out. And it's important when you're trying stuff like this out, you don't want to try it once and sort of go, okay, this is the effect it had this one time I tried it, therefore I've concluded that's how it works. But rather, as like taking it as kind of a scientific experiment to say, right, I'm going to gather data on this. So if it's a breathing technique, I'm going to try that for a week. I'm going to practice it regularly for a week. And at the end of the week, I'm going to look to see, did that have any discernible effect that I can tell? And if it did, okay, what was the effect? Was it good? Was it bad? Do I want to do it more? Do I not want to do it as much? And so on. And to take each of those coping mechanisms and slowly try to introduce those into your daily functioning. And to maybe sort of understand that you're not necessarily going to overnight make a change from going today, where you might have coping mechanisms that aren't working so well, to suddenly tomorrow everything's right and dandy and working exactly the way you want it to. But just understanding, it can be a process that takes some time, and that's okay. It's not great, but that's okay. Always take your time. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. You're right with that as a temporary bandage. And look, you don't want to. You don't want to, and I always find this a controversial one. Obviously, no psychologist is going to sit there saying, I think you should do drugs to help you deal with emotions. But at the same time, it's realistic to understand the idea that, hey, doing drugs is helping you in some way. That's not to say that we want to maintain that, but we just want to be realistic about it, because substance use has a purpose. And if we can figure out what the purpose is and be logical about it as far as we can, then that brings us closer to figuring out what the alternatives are and what the solutions are to that thing. And honestly, that's a really common thing with substance use, that people use it as a substitution for healthier and what can sometimes be more difficult coping mechanisms. But obviously, the difficult ones come with the reward of not having such negative effects on your life at the very least. It's a pleasure, Brood. If the advice is useful to you, then I'm very happy. Maybe I can, if you're okay with it, I can maybe bring in the supposed topic for the night, just because it fits in with the idea of mechanism. Oh wait, have I? Right, let's go back to base and decide what we're doing first. Then, but so the concepts of breathing exercises and meditation. I think people like to dismiss the two of them quite quickly. Meditation, most people just sort of go, oh God, new age, hoo-ha, doesn't really mean much, whatever. And breathing techniques, people sort of go, okay, big whoop, I took a deep breath. Okay, well, what now? I'm still feeling whatever I'm feeling. And like people oftentimes tend to be quite dismissive of particularly these two coping mechanisms, whereas what I really love about them is, compared to a lot of other coping mechanisms, they're really easy to make a part of your life. Breathing techniques, come on, any point of the day, name me a time that you can't practice a breathing technique. Maybe when you've just dived into a pool. That's it. That's the only time that you can't practice a breathing technique. As soon as you get out of the water, guns blazing, you can go for your breathing technique again. So, really, it's such an accessible thing to do. And what I like to point out to people is, if you stop for a moment and just sort of go, right, I'm going to take a deep breath right now. Just, I hope I'm not blowing too much into the mic there, but just that. And kind of make it its own experiment to say, just before I take the deep breath, I'm going to take a mental stock of going, okay, I'm feeling, okay, I noticed I was getting a little excited there. I was kind of babbling very quickly and talking very excitedly. And then I take a deep breath. And it's not that the excitement is gone, but now I'm kind of a little more aware of it, a little more maybe focused in my behavior, sort of going, okay, I don't need to play out that excitement quite as strongly. I can still have it there in what I'm talking about, but I can have a little more control in my approach to it. And so that was one breath. And I mean, obviously, that was just for excitement. Excitement is not a hard emotion to deal with for most people. Wait, that was the sound of research finishing, I think. By the way, can you guys hear the game now? I did turn up the volume on it, so I'm hoping you can. Anyway, but then once you've noticed the effect of one breath, then to advance that and say, okay, well, one breath did X amount. Let's say I plotted that on a graph to say I'm feeling anxious at the moment. I take one breath and I go, wow, my anxiety went from a 9.99 to a 9.98. I made a 0.01 difference to my anxiety. Wonderful. What happens if I take a second breath? Well, maybe the same effect. Maybe the graph goes up a similar notch, another 0.01, 0.01. And that sort of says to me, hey, if I took 100 breaths, I could start making a bit of an impact on this anxiety. Imagine if I took 200 breaths or 400 and there's going to be a sweet spot somewhere. When one breath is going to achieve a certain amount. Two breaths are probably going to achieve more than that. 4 more than that, 8 more than that, 16, 32, 64, and so on. But at some point, we're going to say, look, whether I take 1,000 breaths or whether I take 10,000 breaths, the effect is plateaued. They're not making too much difference anymore. And to try and look for that sweet spot as a coping mechanism to say, how long do I need to practice this breathing exercise for to get what's for me the optimal ratio between the amount of effort and time I spend on this exercise and the amount of benefit I get out of it? And, for different people, that might be different things. Like if that's research done again. Just as I'm leaving, I need to turn around again. So like if I think about the stream that Check Me Out does, she very clearly feels that it's well worth her time to put a lot of effort into breathing exercises. Can't hear the game, but you can still hear me. Okay, cool. I should probably catch up on this chat in between all my monologuing, but I'll get there. She clearly feels that she's quite happy to put a lot of effort into that and a lot of time into that. And that's fantastic. If that works well for her, that's great. Personally, I can say I prefer shorter bouts of breathing things. So I'll take a minute, if that much. I'll control my breathing, have slow, deep breathing for a minute, and that's me. I'm good from there. And then my ratio, it could be that if I spend 2 minutes, I'd get more benefit from it. But I guess in my head, it feels like the amount of benefit I'd get isn't worth the amount of time I'd put into it at that point. And so for me, a minute is okay. Let me catch up on this quickly. Never really thought about replacing coping mechanisms like that. I'll have to think about that in my own life too. And Iguana, that's I really love that, when we think about so much of what we like to think of as problem behavior, most behavior has a function. At the root of most of what we think and most of what we do, there's emotional stuff there that, we feel anxious. We have a desire to escape the anxiety. So we distract ourselves. We focus on other things. Whatever we do, we think about other things. We take our mind off of tomorrow's test. We stop thinking about the bills at the end of the month. We direct our thoughts and our behavior in ways to try to manage that emotion. And so a lot of what we do and what we think, we can kind of frame in that idea of coping mechanisms. I cannot hear the game that I've noticed too. That's so weird. Like the music is so loud to me. All I can think is that I need to add like a different sort. Okay, I'll leave the game audio for now because it's just, well, it is music in the background. It's nice music, but oh well. I'm still lagging. That's a pain in the neck. Good point on the breathing technique being accessible. And Sable Raven, you've joined. I wonder how long you've been there that I've been monologuing. Welcome. We've been talking a little bit about breathing techniques, or not really techniques so much as just breathing as a coping mechanism. Now, breathing. I'm running back to base for no apparent reason. Okay, I'm going to run back to base and just stand there while I finish ranting about this monologue and hopefully paying a little more attention to the chat and looking how long this has to go. Yeah, I can get these two on. Yeah, I can definitely get these two on, and then I can go down underground. Okay. So point one of breathing is that it's really useful for anxiety. People who deal with anxiety, can really use breathing as a fantastic physiological way to reduce the amount of anxiety you're experiencing. Taking it beyond that, then when we start to get into breathing practices, so particularly, like, again, tonight, Check Me Out was talking about a particular process of saying, okay, breathe in for 4 counts, hold the breath for 6 counts, breathe out for 8 counts. Now, there's particular physiological stuff in there that she's specifically focused on holding the breath and breathing out for longer periods than you're breathing in. It has to do, as far as I understand, it's got to do with like carbon dioxide levels, and there's some complex physiological stuff which I admit I don't know all the details of. But just that exercise of focusing on your breathing, that's then bringing in another element, which is distraction, really. When a lot of the times when our emotions are running high, we're often thinking about particular things or doing particular things that are having that effect on our emotions. And when we stop to do this breathing technique, part of what we're doing is distracting ourselves. We're going, hey, I'm going to take my mind away from that thing that's connected to that strong negative emotion and focus it on something else. And that's its own short-term coping mechanism. In some ways, very similar to substance use. It's a short-term distraction. Only been here. Sable, you've been here 10 minutes, and I've only just spotted you now. Well done to me. But I'm glad you were patient with me waiting for that. Good night, Iguana. Sleep well. Yeah, I hope you get that sleeping pattern sorted out for you. I'm going to be up for a little bit still, I think, but we'll see how it goes. I was saying mouth words. They were coming out of my brain. I'll get back to them in just a moment. 2 minutes. Okay, so then distraction is another element of breathing. And so now we're kind of saying, right, there's actually 2 things going on when we're breathing at the least. One is we're physiologically creating a calm process in our brains. 2 is we're affecting our thought processes, which have an impact on our emotions. We're distracting ourselves from the potential root of our strong negative emotions, and that serves to alleviate the feeling somewhat for at least a short amount of time. Then another element in there where I think the meditation comes in really well is that on the one side, meditation has built-in breathing practices in it. There's very few meditation exercises that don't include an element of focus on your breathing, focus on the breath going through your nose or through your throat or your chest rising, or there's usually a focal point in meditation practices where they say focus your mind on this thing. But then in most meditation practices, they'll have an element of it where they say, while you're focusing on this thing, there's a strong likelihood that other thoughts are going to pop into your head at times. And that's okay. We're not saying you're not allowed to have other thoughts. Quite the opposite. We're saying we know you're going to have other thoughts, and that's really normal. What we plan to do with those is every time you notice those other thoughts coming there, what we'd like you to do is take a moment, sort of recognize, oh, hey, thoughts about what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow just popped into my head. I see that thought. That's not what I'd like to focus on right now. I'd like to focus on my breathing right now. I'm going to pull my attention back to that. And that's the meditation practice. Essentially, over and over again, you've got unwanted thoughts popping into your head, and we're acknowledging their existence and exerting the control we have over our thoughts, saying, right, I'm going to focus back on what I choose to focus on, and I don't have to focus on this thing that's jumped into my head. So if you think about your thought process, we have certain types of control over our thoughts and certain types of control we don't have over our thoughts. So to demonstrate the idea, if you Sable, I have absolutely no expectation of being noticed as a viewer. Sable, that's okay. I especially I feel like at the moment, while I do have such precious few of you, I really want to make a point of noticing my viewers. I'm really grateful that you're here. And I've just sidetracked myself. Give me a second. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'll get back to it. Thought processes. So if you want to try a thought experiment for me, if you think to yourself, I want to picture a pink elephant as clearly and as vividly as you can. It's very elephanty, very pink, doing whatever a pink elephant is supposed to be doing. And you kind of just sort of imagine here inside your head, there's this elephant wandering around doing its thing. And you really get that image well and truly lodged into your head. And to me, this is one side of things that's demonstrating the control we have over our thoughts, that says, hey, you can take something that absolutely doesn't exist and plop it into your brain just like that. It's pretty amazing the things that you can do with your thought process. Then to demonstrate the flip side of your thoughts, where you don't have the control, to say, okay, right, for the next 10 seconds, I'd like you to stop thinking of a pink elephant. Can you do that for me? And the large majority of people will generally say something along the lines of, oh, no, I can't. It's stuck there. Every now and then somebody might sort of say, yeah, I can do that. I can take the pink elephant out of my head. And I always say, great. Okay, well, how are you doing that? And generally those people will say, well, actually, I'm thinking of a blue dog. So blue dog is my go-to for this exercise. And what they'll generally do is they'll focus their attention really hard on something else to try and blot out that pink elephant. But the honest truth of it is, as soon as we try and take out a thought, we don't really have a lot of control over that. We do have the control to choose to focus on whatever we want to focus on. But that idea of something popping into our head that maybe we don't want there, we don't have a lot of control over that. And so taking this process of meditation, which says, hey, sometimes these thoughts pop in which we don't want there, that's okay, that's normal, that's to be expected. We're not fighting that. We're just saying, I can still exert control on what I choose to focus on. I can ignore the fact, I can accept the fact that unwanted thoughts pop in there, and instead I can just exert my energy towards choosing what to focus on. And that's what meditation brings into this. So then when that comes to emotional experiences, what we try to do there is we teach people the idea that a lot of people's default with negative emotions is to say, oh God, I can't stand these emotions. Get them away. Get them out of my head. Get them out of me. And the alternative to that is to say, hey, you know what? There's this negative emotion there. I don't want it there, but I can't really control the fact that it's there. It kind of just pops up and it is. And that's okay. And instead, what I'm going to do with that is say, okay, well, this negative emotion is there. It sucks. And if an opportunity, ooh, God, what am I falling down into? I think this was just a mining hole. A very deep mining hole. Okay, let me pull myself out of there. That's one way to distract me from the... really? I just take myself all the way down. Okay, let me just get back up to where I was earlier. And then we'll go this way. There we go. And We'll just cover this up once we get up here. And we just made a giant hole in the floor. Well done, me. And so just taking these emotions and saying, hey, you know what? I don't like this emotion, but it's there. I've already got the feeling. And no matter what I do, I can't just force it out of my head. If I take substances to try and get the emotion out of my head, it works for a while. For a while I feel great. And then when I come down off of the substances, I realize, oh, damn it, that stupid emotion I was trying to escape is still there, most likely. And, we've all done, well, we've all done, and not necessarily with substances, but we've all done that in some way to sort of escape the emotion for a time, only to have it come right back at a later point. Let's hope. There we go. Okay. And so this idea of taking the presence of this thing, saying, hey, unwanted emotion is here, but that's okay. I haven't died yet from having that emotion there. There's a very strong likelihood I'm not going to die going forwards having that emotion either. As much as I don't want it to be there, I can accept the fact for now that it is there and choose to focus on something else that's more worth my attention, rather than fixating all my attention on, I've got to get this pink elephant out of my head. Instead going, hey, a pink elephant popped into my head. That's okay. I don't have to focus on this if I don't want to. And to me, meditation teaches that wonderfully. It teaches that idea of unwanted things come into our heads, and we absolutely have the power to accept the presence of those things and redirect our focus to whatever we choose to focus on. And so that's why meditation is such a fantastic coping mechanism. It teaches such a healthy way of dealing with emotions. Not always, and maybe in a lot of practices, they don't put this very explicitly, but to me, this is what I want out of meditation for anybody that uses it. And if people get other benefits out of it, great. I'm all for all the benefits that you get. But even if somebody gets just these benefits here, to me, that's like a priceless benefit to get out of the process. And now I can take a deep breath and say, monologue done. Any questions, class? Yeah, that's what I had to say on that. Now I'm going to absorb myself in the game for just a moment. Well, a few moments. And I'll give you guys a chance to get a word in edgewise, perhaps. No, go. I really thought I was going to make that jump. Oh, God. No, not up there. Just here. Okay, out of the hole again. And now we just want to cover it up. No. Cover up. Ooh. Hole. Okay, that works. So with Panda, I have to actually look closer because I can't see what your emoji are. Are you lurking, Sith Panda? For shame. No, I'm just kidding. You are. Lurk away. That's all good. I guess I'm technically lurking in my own stream now that I've gone quiet for a few minutes. I just figure I just gave such a giant monologue that now I can enjoy the silence for just a moment. I just heard something make a noise that I don't think I wanted it to make, but I don't know where it is. Okay, let's scan these guys. Actually, in some ways, I don't know why I bother with these. Nope. Because they're not really all that valuable. But I do it anyways. Do I need more aluminum? I still need copper. One day, I'm going to find copper. But for now, I'm going to dig up the laterite for aluminum. Yes, I'd like oxygen, please. I need to remember to breathe. I do that a lot with art. When I feel bad, creating makes me feel better. However, I definitely need to practice meditation, as I've tried in the past and gave up quickly. Maybe, Brood, maybe it's worth considering in that. What was your expectation when you tried it before? Because maybe, you had an expectation that said, wow, I'm going to do meditation and it's going to be phenomenal and then you tried it and it was kind of underwhelming, and that sort of made you go, well, why would I carry on with that? Um, so I'm not saying this is definitely it, but possibly it's just the idea of adjusting your expectations, and maybe that'll make it more of a regular thing for you. Oh, did I just? Okay, let's do it. Wait, did I? Have I? No, this is a new area. Okay, so I haven't actually. Sorry, I thought I'd cut off a long line of stuff here. And I'm going to sit up straight again. Believe it or not, good posture is good for mental health. But it's also just good for your physical health because, today I've had gloriously tight muscles, and it's probably not helped by the fact that I was sitting in front of the computer most of the day, and probably not always with the best of posture. Thank you for the thoughts on the matter. They're very helpful. You're welcome, Brute. Honestly, as long as you got some sort of use out of it, I'm quite happy. Oop, God, I don't want to fall down that hole. Okay, I think I'm just gonna keep going down this way. Oh, did I run out of? Yep, I ran out of those, and I don't have any compound here. Sad. Well, I do have a mostly full backpack, don't I? Yeah, I do. Yeah, okay. If I find some compound, I know there was compound somewhere along the way, but I can't remember where. But if I find it along the way, that one needs power. Yeah, then I'll go use that. Where am I going now? That one, oh, that one needs laterite. Yes, I've just collected a bunch of laterite, so let's go grab this one for me. Where's the, of course, it's always, when there's three sides to something, or when there's multiple sides to something, it's always the last side that has what you need. Okay, let's go research that. 410 bytes, nice. Oh dear, I just dropped a tether down into something. Oh, and I don't have any more. Damn it. Where did that tether go? Did anybody see? It looked like it just sunk into the ground, but... Nope, I don't know where it went, so... That's going to confuse me when I come back this way. No, actually, I have no idea which way I'm supposed to be going right now. To the left or to the right? Well, I know what Beyonce would say, so let's do that, shall we? Come on, go up. Oh, this is not a very nice path I've made for myself here. And I'm burying my line. Wait, is this? Ah, no, I thought it was compound. Okay, let's go this way then. Ooh. It's not dying in the process. I'm a really big fan of not dying. Okay, resin. Are you the resin near the uphill, or are you just random resin? You might just be random resin. Okay. Well, my eyes are suddenly very tired. Zinc material. I can put that in. I don't need more zinc material right now, so let's just follow this along. I think I'm actually going to leave this cavern for a little while after this and go start in a different one somewhere, just because I feel like I keep finding the same stuff down here. And I've hit probably the same dead end I started in, but oh well. Let's run across this way. And follow this line. Oh, sorry, Brood, I didn't see your message. I really didn't have any expectation. However, I didn't notice a difference. To your point, though, treating it as an experiment where you apply the method over time rather than expecting immediate results sounds more reasonable. And it's totally okay also to get to the point of saying, hey, I tried this meditation thing. For me personally, maybe it's rubbish. Maybe I don't want to use it. And I don't think we need to take the idea that, all this stuff works perfectly for everybody and you have to do it. By all means, try it and decide if it works for you. But, just that sort of kind of scientific method of giving it a fair chance to see if it actually works, as opposed to it's kind of ironic. We kind of, in practicing these emotional coping mechanisms, we kind of let our emotions get in the way and sort of go, well, I want something that makes me feel better, and I'm not feeling better instantly, so therefore this thing must suck. I want this. Oh no, this is the one I brought down. Okay, I need a packer for that. And I need to go upstairs somewhere. Upstairs. I'm never going to escape this language. I keep calling things upstairs and downstairs. Somewhere in my head, there's some little something buried there about upstairs and downstairs. But oh well. I see a ramp to go up to the surface, not upstairs, and I'm going to follow it. Now I've got that. I think you get a terrain analyzer thing to help you like build stuff in the same color as the terrain. And I don't know that I'd want that. I really find it quite handy to see this gray material that I sort of go, oh, I built that, I should go that way. Running up here and running up here and running down this way. Okay, so after this we need to decide where else we're going, because we've done those caverns 50,000 times and found the same materials over and over. So we'll start off at the smelter, and we'll drop off a bunch of these, and these, and these, and oh no, come back. I was on a good roll there. No! Fail. You go there. You go there. And you go there. Okay. Then I think there's an empty one here, isn't there? I think this one's empty. We're going to put this here. Can I zoom out? Yes, I can zoom out. Okay. We'll grab the zinc and put it on this side. I'm going to pull this one off completely and put the empty one on. Et voilà, une pomme de terre, a potato. It's like one of the few things in French I know how to say, so I love to overuse it completely. Just sort of, et voilà, une pomme de terre, because that makes so much sense. Not dying is pretty nice. I agree, Brood. Not dying is a definite perk. I missed one. Let's go pop that on the smelter as well. No. Damn it. So close and yet so far. I suspect my computer just doesn't... Oh, I nearly forgot. I need to put the fan on my laptop. It doesn't like all this work. But yeah, I think the kind of slightly not so great frame rate in Astroneer is also because I'm streaming and recording and playing games at the same time. But oh well, we'll get there. I just wanted to have a quick glance and see. I think, yeah, okay. Just making sure that nobody else has shown up that I've missed in between, seeing as Sable managed to get past my defenses earlier. I can probably move this one off now as well. But I want the whole thing. Nope. I was very close, but I wasn't quite there. Just change the angle. Nope. Did I just turn it off, or what did I do? Oh, it just finished. Okay. I thought I'd clicked the wrong thing. Let's go put this somewhere. Over it here. And we'll put that up. And we're going to grab some resin. Nope. Resin. How much have we got? 23 plus 2 plus 2. We need one more, but we can't actually carry it. So we'll just take this one for the moment. I just want to build some more storage. I want large platform B, please. And I want medium storage, please. Wait. Oh, I thought I brought enough. Sus. Okay. I thought it would auto use it. Okay, there we go. I found your channel through your intro in the Knowledge Fellowship. Ah, cool. Okay, I'm glad those are having an effect. As you may have noticed lately, I've been sort of posting that same message once or twice, every day basically. I figure it's a way for me to get some exposure. Most of the people that most of the users you've seen on here know me from some other people's channels. So we've been interacting there a fair amount, and they've very kindly decided to join me this side as well. So I'm very grateful for that. It's always nice when there's somebody that, as much as I'm not, as much as I appreciate that, it's always pretty cool when people find you in a different way. Just sort of let you know that the effort was worth it. Oh, I just realized I need much more resin than I thought I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We're going to go make 2 more of these. And make another one. And then put that over there. And that over there. And we're in business. This I was going to put on here. Wow, I feel like I'm actually, for once... Nope. I spoke too soon, didn't I? I was just about to say, for once, I'm doing a good job of this, and then I disconnected my printer. You plug in at the back there, please. No, you plug in. No, I have to go around the other side. I was really hoping it would connect from the other side. Medium storage. At least it'll be done pretty quickly. Hello, skillful AZN. Is that like skillful Arizona? And then ping. It says Ping2Co addict left, but I didn't even see them join. So hi and bye. Sorry about that. Jeez. Here I was thinking I was on top of my users. Nope, and Skillful Arizona's left as well. Well, clearly I didn't win them over. Oh well, one for an evening is not bad. I'll accept my wins and losses for this round. I also want to see what time are we on, by the way. 26 past 12. Okay, I think I'll probably keep this going a little longer, probably a few minutes longer, and then I'll probably be heading to bed. As much as I'm happy to stay up late tonight, I don't want to stay up too late because we have people to do and things to see tomorrow. Okay, I was going to go somewhere else. Actually, seeing as most of you haven't seen this, I'll take you on my little tour of my end of the globe. I built myself a ramp up into the middle of nowhere, purely so that I can stand up at the top here and admire the view. I've always liked the look of this game. I'm going to sit up straight and come enjoy the lovely view at the top here. And take some deep breaths. Now, if I just had the graphics set to some awesome feature where you could see like all the details, that would be perfect, but oh well. And I've run out of cool drink. I had Dr. Pepper here, but I managed to drink it all earlier, and now I'm getting thirsty. So maybe that is a good point. Now that we've had our useful monologues and people are switching over to lurking mode, I'm going to slide down there. And then I'm going to destroy your lurking mode by popping in here. So I should be on again tomorrow night. Hopefully usual time from 8 o'clock again. Tonight was just a little bit of an off schedule thing, but hopefully tomorrow night we'll be back to 8 p.m. Usually, actually Brood, if you haven't seen it, I can't guarantee that he'll be on tomorrow night, but if you want to look up, there's a user who does basically what I'm doing. I kind of more or less copied what he's doing. I just play different games to him, in my mind, real games. But there's another user named Dr. Mick Live. He should be on tomorrow night around about this time as well. and he's also a therapist. He also talks about mental health topics. And if you enjoyed this talking, then I'm pretty sure you'd enjoy it there. And there's a decent sized community there too. So I'd recommend you go there. But I should be on again tomorrow night as well. And as the weeks go by, I'm sort of getting a better sense of what my schedule is going to be like for this. But for now, I'm aiming for most nights at 8 o'clock. So if you guys want to join me then, I'll see you tomorrow night. Now I'm going to do my little sign off with this dude. Bye. And jump in here. So in the old alpha version of Astroneer, you had to get into the base in order to save the game. So it's just become a hard habit for me, sort of, that I just kind of do that anyway. Okay. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow night. What rubbish timing. What vainglorious gaming. I'm sorry, I'm literally just signing off for the night. I'm very sad now. I could have had a new user, and now I'm just leaving you in the lurch. Sorry about that. But I should be on again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. You're welcome to check the YouTube link just below if you want to see some of the previous videos I've made. I warn you, they're not the most inspiring ones in the world always. There's some large chunks of glorious oopsies in there. And I'll be uploading yesterday's and today's conversations probably either tonight or tomorrow morning. So feel free to check out the YouTube. You guys are welcome to join the Discord as well. I tend to make the announcements there to say when and what time I'm going to be online. So if you'd like to do that, you're more than welcome. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers, guys.